Okay, hi everyone. Today is May 22nd. I'm just so excited and honored to be able to interview Barbara Dickey, a licensed clinical social worker of 20 years and an educator of 50 years. And today we'll interview, the topic will be effective weight management. Okay, without saying too much, from the screen, you guys can see this is the same Barbara, but it's before and after the effective weight management. Okay, so now I turn the floor to Barbara and tell us what the time you took on the left side and versus the right side, and tell us how you make such a beautiful transforming change.
Well, if you look on the left side, that's January 2016, and I weighed 172. And on the right, I weigh 140, and I have another 20 more pounds I want to take off to get my BMI. That's the your BMI is your basic index of what you weigh, and I want to get that back down to the normal range. Want to talk about what I did, because I have tried to lose weight in the past and not been able to do that. But I think I want to clarify, this is not weight loss, but this is a weight management lifestyle. And what that basically means that it's a total change in how we view our life, our self-development, our food and supplement intake, and our physical activity. I think we have to have a total makeover. And part of the, there's about 7, 8, 9, 10 components to this. And I'll just mention those, and then you can jump in if you want me to explain more about them. But there's a mindset. I believe that we carry weight because we believe that that's what we're supposed to do, and we settle. Whether we're hiding something, whether we've had some abuse, whatever it is we're going on, we reach a point where we think that we deserve to be that way. And we have to begin to challenge that. I ask people, are they coachable? Can they embrace affirmations? For me, it's I am never overweight. I am always skinny. I'm always where I need to be, but begin to change that mindset. And then oxidative stress, our mitochondria, our gut health, water drinking, fat burn and a cleanse, our BMI, and our tongue, which is interesting. I've just begun to learn about that. What to eat, our omega-3s and 7s, our brain food, and then exercise. These are things that I have embraced. We talked about the mindset. The next is the oxidative stress. We are hit with 3 septillion, that's 24 zeros of free radicals. We're slammed every single day. And if you can think of shards of glass just ripping up your insides. And our company has what's called the yellow pill that goes after those free radicals, 1 million every second in every mammal every day. I like to start with that because I believe that if our survivor genes, our enzymes that take out the trash are not available, then we're not going to drop these pounds because we're in survivor mode that says we're going to hang on to this fat to protect ourselves. So I like to start because the yellow pill represents the master switch, a protein pathway that gets turned on, activated, and acts like a vacuum cleaner in the cells. In turn, that increases those 3 enzymes that makes weight management not to be such a chore. So that's the first thing after the mindset. Then we have what's called mitochondria. These are the energy things in our cells that help us to have that energy, because when you try to drop pounds, you're sluggish and you're tired. And the mitochondria, as they're being built and repaired, it actually stops bad cell division as well as giving us more energy so you don't feel so tired as you're shifting your focus. Then there's gut health. Part of the trash problem was in the gut. More and more we're hearing that the brain or the gut acts like the second brain, and that it makes up to 90% of the neurotransmitters for the brain that's made in the gut. And a big problem with our guts, and most of us have leaky gut, as the gut is damaged, the balance is thrown off and it leaks toxins into our bloodstream. And if we've been taking a lot of antibiotics, then the good bacteria is going to be messed up for up to 2 years, which in my mind is pretty significant. I recommend a prebiotic, which is plant fibers or non-living, that prepares the gut for healing, as well as providing food for the probiotic that does the healing by making good bacteria and restores the delicate balance. LifeVantage has a product called ProBio. Is both a prebiotic and a probiotic that gets up to 60% to the gut without being refrigerated. Most others don't get past the acid in the stomach and get about 4%, which I think is really, really significant. Next piece is water drinking. I believe that our body does its dumping between midnight and noon. So if we start drinking early, there's controversy as to how much water that we need to drink. The FDA once said we need to drink 1/2 our body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200, you need 100 ounces of water. Some people refute that and say that's too much. And so you've got to find a balance. And I work with people to find that balance. But I've discovered whatever your balance is, you need to be drinking about 4/5 of that before lunch. And then the other 1/5 the rest of the day, so that you can be dumping out the toxins. Because if you are stirring up the toxins and have no way of flushing them out, then you're going to maintain water and maintain weight. Then next is a fat burn and a cleanse. I recommend a 1 time a month cleanse that's gentle and a fat burn before your 2 heaviest meals. This assists the process. Once the body gets revved up and momentum gets started, it seems easier. This time, as I'm using these products, I'm finding it not near a chore. I weigh myself every day, and I can tell you exactly what's going to happen if I eat 2 plates of spaghetti and spaghetti sauce and some garlic bread and, eat a heavy meal that's carbs that my body doesn't really like. I know that I'm going to put on 1 to 2 pounds. And then part of the cleanse and the fat burn is help your body get rid of that. Another interesting thing, in addition to the BMI, and which is really interesting in deciding whether you're underweight, normal, overweight, or obese, and there's a measurement. You take your weight times 704 and divide that by the square of your height, and that gives you your BMI, which is a good thing. But another thing that I found that's really interesting is about our tongue. Your tongue tells you what is going on. And when I started this, I had a lot of grooves in my tongue. And as I have improved my diet, that's sort of clearing up. So you are what you eat. Which brings us to the next part. What to eat. I begin where a person is, figure out what they like and dislike. If they're a finicky eater, it's going to be a little more difficult to figure out what they can eat so that they're going to drop pounds. I sometimes start with green smoothies. I do 3 cups of water to 3 cups of greens, 1 to 3 cups of fruit, and then add 2 scoops of this delicious shake that our company builds, which takes like cake batter, which makes it good. Or you can do the greens without the shake. Either way. Then in addition to assortment of greens with that, seeds, nuts, alternative ways, we found an alternative way to make ice cream. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, which is really, really good with the shake powders. We've made pizza out of cauliflower, chocolate mousse and brownies out of black beans. There are just so many options that we can use. My favorite is the Physique shake mix, since it tastes like the cake batter without the side effects that many of us experience. I pretty much eliminate any carbs that are addictive, and that's going to be carbs that are GMO, carbs that are going to make you want more, because part of good weight management is that you're feeling hungry. You want to recognize what real hunger is as opposed to just soothing with food. And I find that like 3 carrots, 3 stalks of celery with almond butter, the shakes that have different things in it that are good. But most people don't recognize actual hunger. I am down 32 pounds since the beginning of 2016. I have 20 more pounds to go. Okay, next part is the omega-3 and 7. I found with this tongue grooves that my insulin and my sugar seemed to be not where it needed to be, so I upped my omega-7s, which works with the insulin, which works with how our body processes things that are turned to sugar. And then this omega helps all of our cells sing. As I was experiencing dry mouth, and as we saw on my site, the candida and the red feet, I've been able to eliminate that, except if I go on a binge of unhealthy carbs, then I'm going to be right back where I started from growing the candida, and I have that under control. And my mouth is not dry anymore, and my eyes are not. Then that brings us to brain food. We have a drink called Axio that kind of acts like a cleanse. It gives us energy that we all appreciate. But we can add things like beet juice or beets, celery that helps with blood pressure, carrots for energy, bananas strengthen the immune system. So many good foods that contribute to a good weight management. And last but not least, exercise. Those of us that are dropping pounds, we've got the chicken wings right here. So we have 4 exercises that we're working on with that. I have a bunch of ball exercises and walking. I find most of us that are overweight and obese are very intimidated by the gyms and some of the sophisticated exercise. So some of these simple exercises can help us work through all of those things. That's pretty much the regimen that I have used. Of course, there's a lot more pieces to it than that, but that's kind of the basic outline.
Okay, great. Now, Barbara, I'm just asking, a lot of people, I don't know whether they realize the importance of weight management to their health, or maybe just a lot of people just feel like the appearance. So you tell us the importance of the weight management to health. What kind of diseases that obesity can lead to?
Well, we know if you're obese or overweight, you've got excessive visceral fat, and there's a hormone, cortisol, that kind of puts us in fight and flight mode, and as we look at the visceral fat, keeping the cortisol going, that stops us from losing the pounds. But part of the issue is if you've got this excess visceral fat around your heart, around your stomach, your gut's not doing what it needs to do, and it opens the door to premature aging, and premature aging is going to open the door to disease. Now, I realize that we can't make claims of healing, treating, of any of that sort, but we've got some marvelous testimonies of things that are happening to people that are working on a weight management program, doing it LifeVantage style.
All right. Thank you, Barbara. And the other question is that, in the market, there are so many weight management products. So is that possibility that you can share with us what's the uniqueness of the LifeVantage weight management project or products from the rest of the world?
I don't know of any product line that's turning on and targeting oxidative stress, targeting your survivor genes, that with just 1 month's work, you've gotten rid of 40% of the oxidative stress in your body, 3 months up to 70%. I don't know of any other program that's doing that. I'm working with somebody right now who's tried several other programs, and tomorrow night we begin working on that. But if you can get the survivor genes turned on and you rev up the body and say, you know what, it's time for us to drop this weight. We don't want it anymore. And we work through all the things that I'm talking about. What makes us different? We're targeting the cellular level. We're targeting the total picture. We're not just targeting small components. We are doing the whole picture. And for me, if you look in that first picture, look at all that visceral fat and look at the belly on me, where I'm pretty much have gotten rid of that. And as I get from overweight into the normal weight, little by little, I'm getting rid of that. And when I get the chicken wings off of my arms, I will know that I have arrived. There's several of us that are doing the exercises I have on my site. But this is a whole different way of looking at things. It is a mindset, not a weight loss program. And I intend on spending the rest of my life eating this way. And since I know so much more about my body and so in tune with my body, we went to a birthday party on Saturday, ate the 2 plates of spaghetti, the garlic bread, and a big piece of cake. So I did my fat burner, and my body pretty much has gotten rid of that. Sometimes I'm going to eat maybe something that's not good for me rather than not eating at all. Sometimes we have to make choices. And as we head to Anaheim in July, I heard somebody say that she takes all of her food with her, so she makes sure that she does not eat anything that's not healthy. And that's a real challenge, to be able to take all of your own food. And we're looking at taking our own filtered water and being able to control, because the more you control about what you put into your body and the more you know what your body signals to you, the greater you're going to control that weight and how you feel.
Right.
And I would add to that we have 23 peer-reviewed studies, and I think there are another 17 out there that are in the process, that we've got science to back what we're doing here. And as you look on PubMed.gov, I don't know that you're going to find all these other programs out there like you can the LifeVantage products. And that is so powerful. And I'm so excited about that, because that's something that no one else has.
Great. And well, that's pretty much covered all the major areas of the weight management program in LifeVantage versus the rest of the world. Do you have any other friends next to you and would like to ask some questions?
Char or to ask some questions. Okay. My partners say that they are good.
They're good. All right. I think you are excellent too, you know. So this is the testimony from 172, right?
Yes.
To the right side is 100.
And 72, yes. And 140, right side's 140.
Our right side is 140. Wow. All right. So to summarize, this is the weight management is a mindset, right? So maybe I should ask you from the beginning, what made you decide to lose weight? Because a lot of people just thinking about it, you know, they know it, but they never make up mind to act on it. So I think that there's some stories or some kind of determination or some kind of philosophies at that particular point in time that make you move forward and decide to do the weight management. You can share? So we will be able to tell some strategies to have those people who really longing for lose weight but never ever were able to or dare to move a big step forward.
Well, and here's what I noticed. I have three children that I've given birth to, and I did things after each birth in which, although I put on way too much weight with each pregnancy, And if I'd known then what I know now, I would not have put on so much weight because it was harder to take it off. But I was able to get it off. But I found as I began to age, because I'll remind you that I'm 70 and a half going on 25, I noticed,
Nobody will believe
I love
that.
to say that. I love to say that I'm 70 and a half going on 25.
Yeah, I love that too.
Because that's how I feel. But I noticed that as and I buried my husband in 2014, that the last 4 years, and prior to that, little by little, I noticed the weight was just kind of up, and I was getting back up to the point that I had been at my heaviest weight in 1999, where I weighed between 200 and 250, and that's the picture of in the canary dress that I know that we're not going to be able to retrieve here, but I have it on my wall in my office for everybody to see what I look like. I'm 5'2", weighing 250 pounds, and just how unhealthy that was. But I noticed that prior to my husband's death and afterwards, weight just keeps slipping up and up and up and up and up and up, and it's kind of like it's an out of control. If you think of a semi that's on a road and their brakes are gone, and then there's these sand traps where a truck can go over. Weight management is like that. If you don't have something in place, it's like an out of control. It's on a roller coaster. It's taking off, and there's not a stop there. And what I find with the weight management lifestyle, there are stops. I can go and eat something that's not good for me, but then I pull back to where I need to be. I know my limits. And I had 1 week that I was not at home and I ate a lot of bread, and that's a no-no for anybody who deals with candida and funguses. Breads and processed sugars are the two big things. I did that for a week because that was kind of where I was. I had not prepared, and but I was able to regain it back when I got back home. So I've seen some limits. I understand where things are. And I can take it back, where before it just kept getting out and out of control over and over and over again. It was like, here I am at 172, and I had been 140 before. This time, we do not want to go back to, this. And I've given away all the clothes, and it feels wonderful giving the larges, extra larges, giving them away. I'm down to the smalls. Shooting for a size 8. That feels really good.
What was the size before?
This was a 16, 18, and maybe even a 20.
Wow. Now the other question is that for the process of weight management program, will that effective if just take the products without doing exercising?
I find if you can do exercising like walking, most of us can walk. And if we walk 1 to 2 to 3 times a week, I go to the mall all winter. We had a very difficult winter. So I went to the mall, which is 3 miles from my office. So I did that 2 times a week. I've got a ball that I do ball exercises that are in my house and in my office. And of course the arm exercises. So you want to keep exercise simple. Sometimes if people have to go somewhere to a gym, they're not willing to do that. So if you can keep it simple, it's something that's doable. And I have several of us that are working on this together, and it's kind of like a little competition that we are working on. You've got to make it fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything we do has got to be fun. If in weight management's fun, then we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But if it looks like it's too hard, we're not going to do that, because as we age, we think we can't do this. And one of the big things is we've got to take the can'ts out of our vocabulary and decide what it is we want, and we go after it.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. All right. So, Barbara, thank you so much for covering pretty much every aspect from science behind the weight management, from the products that would be effective for it, help us to, lose weight, and also the actions or areas that we need to pay attention to while we are in the process of weight management. All right. Thank you very much, Barbara.
Thank you for asking me.
And I hope everybody watching this show or this interview will get a lot of benefit from that. And if you have any questions, you can just go directly to Barbara, and your contact information is
717-660-2114 is my office. Barbara A. Dickey at yahoo.com is my email. And my cell is 717-339-8019.
That's great. All right. Thank you very much for everyone you're watching us and also listening afterwards as well. All right. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.